Hello everyone, my name is Vignesh and I am from Indian Academy Group of Institution College. So I am here today to explain about the software engineering. In software engineering, a particular topic called spiral model. So today's agenda about the spiral model, what are the things we will be learning will be known as agenda of learning. So first and foremost we will learn what is spiral model, and the second spiral model its phases, I mean what are the levels of the spiral model, then next applications of the spiral model, and what are the advantages as well as the disadvantages of a spiral model. So these are the agendas today we will be covering today these sessions. Okay, let us move on for the first definitions. What is spiral model? The spiral model life cycle model is a type of iterative model. It is a type of iterative model. Software development model. Here the word iterative means nothing but it's a kind of loop. It will be keep on looping. So that loop is known as a iterative software development model, which is generally implemented in the high risk. So in the high risk project. So iterative model always it will be used for a high risk project, because the project more and more it increases, it needed more iterative. So the high risk is in project. It was first proposed by the Beam. So he will be the person who introduced the concept called spiral model in software engineering in the year 1988. The spiral model is a similar to incremental model. Incremental model means it will be keep on increasing the levels or the phases or the etc in the model. So it is a combination, it combines the best feature of the both waterfall model and a prototype. Waterfall model, as we all know, it is the first model in the software engineering topic. The second word is a prototype, means in the sense it is a kind of model of the project, so which will be doing at the end. So before that we can do it as a blueprint, we call it as a model, it is known as a prototype. Okay, next so let us move on to the phases of spiral model. Spiral model has a four phases. The first phase is known as a objective determinations and identifying the alternative solutions. So this will be the first phase of the spiral model. Move on to the second model. Identify and resolve the risk. The third step is develop next version of the product. The fourth is review and plan for the next phase. So this you can see the like a loop spider web. So this spider is known as the iterative. Iterative means at the beginning only I said it will be loop, is nothing but it will be keep on rotating at the circle again and again. Up to it required it will be stopped there. So let us move on to the first phase, object defined. The first phase of the spiral model, we clarify that the project aims. So at the first stage we have to clarify the project aims, like what are the things it should be in the project and what the update should be done for the project achieve, including functional and non-functional requirement. Functional and non-functional requirement we have to analyze at the beginning of the project, because once we know as clearly understood the what are the things which should be included, we can work on it with easily, and it will be more effective and easy to the people those who are working in that particular project. So second is risk analysis. In the risk analysis phase, the risk associated with the project are identified and evaluated. So what the information we collected at the first phase, the thing will be evaluated, identified and evaluated at the second phase. Move on to the third, engineering phase. In this engineering phase, the software is developed based on the requirement gathered in the previous iterations. So the information requirement gathered in the previous iteration means when we started the project and what are the features the customer wanted, we have to collect the entire detail and keep it for reference. If it's needed, we can recall it and we can use for the upcoming iterative for the spiral model. So let us move on to the fourth phase. So fourth phase is the evaluations. In this evaluation phase, the software is evaluated to determine if it meets the customer requirement. So this will be the major point. When we create any kind of project, the customer should be happy about its project, and he need to be get satisfied. Then only we'll get more and more project based on some other things. So the next phase is planning. The next iterations of the spiral model begins with the new planning phase based on the result of the evaluations. So once if you done up to four phases, if you want to continue from the first, you can do the planning. Like again you have to go for the first phase, then you have to start the iteration again and again up to how much you want or needed. So let us move on to the next advantages. The first and the foremost advantage is risk handling. As we all know, spiral model is easy to handle the risk, and second, good for the large project. Yeah, actually the thing, the spiral model, it will be good for the large project because it will be permanent up to the any existence of the. So next is the flexibility in requirement. So software spiral model will be flexibility in requirement. Customer satisfactions. So next is iterative and incremental approach. In spiral model, we have to reach in a sequence. Especially the approach is known as a sequence. It should be in a series or continuous form. So next is disadvantages of a spiral model. First is complex. Yeah, as we all know, it's a complex one. Second is expensive. Yeah, definitely the spiral model implementation is a very expensive. Then difficulty in the time management. Yeah, it takes a lot of time in order to complete the entire project using the spiral model. The last is resource intensive. To do a project, we need various resources like hardware resources, software resources, and more on. So it will be more expensive in a sense, it will be more cost. And thank you. This is a sign